Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Daniela. Today I'm going to be discussing the emptiness stage in this book that I've been reading, You're Not Going Crazy, You're Just Waking Up by Michael Murdad. It's an excellent book. And it's a process that I believe that we all go through. And it's, for most of us, it's more than once, okay? Just saying. And it really is quite an astonishing book, like that somebody has put the time into describing a very unpleasant process. But the more times that you go through it, the more improved, the better life experience that you have. And it doesn't have to be that painful. And that's what I believe his message is. You know, when you read this book, it helps you to recognize, I guess, the symptoms of what, oh my gosh, what is actually happening to me. And when you learn to relax into it, it's just an easier process as opposed to the cosmic 2x4. Learning your life lessons the easy way or the hard way. So the emptiness stage, as it is implies, the feelings of being empty. So when your soul activated this dismantling process in your life, which was the last video, it's putting the spotlight on old unhealed feelings that are there deep inside of you that have been neglected, that you've been putting off facing. And you know those feelings are there. Some people are really good at avoiding this. Some people go into alcoholism, drugs, even food can push things down, right? So, and the more layers on your abdomen, it's like it's a protection or whatever. I'm not recommending that, done that route. That being said, these are things that are not going away. And the point is, if you think you're going to get out of jail free card by ignoring this and thinking that I can live a very happy, fulfilling, healthy life by ignoring past pain and things like that without healing and releasing it and working on yourself, it just doesn't work that way. So it's almost time to like buckle up, put on your big girl panties or, man up, whatever expression you want to say, but take the bull by the horns. We have to do this. Sooner or later, you're going to do this. So there's some traumas, I guess, from our childhood, right? Who doesn't have that? Some people are blessed and don't. Past relationships and things like that. Sometimes it's romantic, but again, it could be pain caused from friendships and things like that. And so I just want you to at least consider if you haven't willingly gone into this process, maybe just try something different, right? Like, how well did that work for you? Not that well? Try something different. What do they say? The definition of insanity is trying the same thing but expecting different results. And it does seem like we, as human beings, we have a tendency to do that. So, okay, when you're in the middle of this, it feels like you're going through a grieving process because you're grieving your former life. Like, say, the end of a romantic relationship, a marriage or something like that. It's a grieving process. Sometimes people die and we grieve the end of that relationship. But other times we or they just leave. And that's the other thing. Just because you may be the person that leaves, that doesn't mean that you're not going to suffer grieving from the loss, okay? It's a loss of a life that was. And like a dream, right? Because we have these movies or whatever in our heads or expectations of how things are going to work out. And that's a death of a dream. So yes, there's grieving involved with that as well. I wish my eyes could see better. Maybe that's something I can manifest. So grieving for your old familiar identity that's now dying. And people that have gone through this process will understand that, just say the ending of a relationship, it's not just that relationship. It might be grieving, you're not living in the family home anymore, but also what about the friends in the community and stuff like that? Sometimes all of that will fall away. Not always, but sometimes we lose our identity because, right, we identified with, it's like connections. So it's like, here's my partner, here are my friendships, This is the location where I work. So sometimes when people retire or lose their jobs, they lose their identity that way as well. And with a tough breakup, you can lose all of that. And it really is quite the aha moment, but you have to go through the grieving process to be honest and authentic with yourself. Stop staying in denial. Accept the reality of what is right in front of you. And be brave. Get up again. So just please honor yourself, at least allowing yourself to have that grieving process. And then for me, definitely, and for many others, not everybody, but for many others, I would say the brave ones, we go through this cycle of death and rebirth, and it happens numerous times in our lives. The emptiness stage usually brings up issues of mortality. So, yes, I've been through this several times, and people have referred to me the phoenix rising from the ashes. I don't stay down. There are times I may be grieving for quite a while, sometimes longer than I would like to, but I always seem to rise up out of the ashes, and I highly recommend that just being the way it is for you, right? We stay down or we get up. That is your personal choice. And why does it bring up feelings? I think we kind of just touched on that because it's a death of a life and things like that. And again, yes, sometimes people actually really do die. So you're mourning that and your whole life changes, right? So the phoenix, like the old life, to create the new life and the new you, the version of you, you have to let the old you die. A lot of people start thinking about their death when they go through this. And I think that's because it can be a harsh experience. And you do start thinking about your own mortality. Like, even if, like, how many times more times can I go through this? Am I strong enough to get through this time? Do I even want to try? Like, there are definitely those feelings that arise from us deep down. And it just, because the deeper it is, the longer you've been hiding it, it could be really quite the process to bring that back up, and all that hurt and pain rises up, and we do have to deal with it, heal it, and release it. We don't want to hold on to it forever, but we don't want to like, quick, go away. Because there are times when things rise up and my knee-jerk reaction is to immediately clear it. And I've been guided to, no, you need to sit still and absorb this, like fully have this experience and understand what these feelings are, what these emotions are, what it is attached to. Don't run away from it, which, yes, we want to clear it, but there's always things to learn from the experience. What is the lesson in that experience? And if I just quickly clear something without healing, understanding, growing, and learning, I'm wasting my own time, and I would have to repeat, It's a cycle. So if I don't learn the lesson that way, and it's not as traumatic as it was the first time, because you also can step back as you're reviewing and realizing this isn't happening now. I am, older, wiser, stronger, and I love myself. This isn't going to hurt me, because the next thing to realize is you go back in your memory banks and you're reliving stuff. Again, it could be when you were 4 years old, 7 years old, 12, 15, and probably many of these things, right? Not just pick one from column A. So as you relive this, it's gotten easier for me, because sometimes things are very traumatic and humiliating. The pain, like I can feel myself turning red when I think of something that was particularly embarrassing. So that being said, now I'm like, no, that's not happening now. That's in the past. That can't hurt me unless I choose to allow that memory to cause me harm. And what's the point in that? There is none. So it's almost like watching a movie. Sorry about the distractions. I have a little puppy who, I don't know if you can hear that from the background. So I hope that this helps. Remember, the memory banks don't have to be painful to you. What else do we have? You don't want to escape the process. You want to acknowledge there's things to learn, lessons to get from this. And once you relax and surrender into this situation, it can be a really incredibly healing process that brings greater peace to you. And understand, again, every experience, it's behind it is a valuable lesson for us, right? And then you heal it and release it. And it's important to rest during the void through these experiences. Like, be kind to yourself, plenty of water, good nutrition, try to get you sleep. Be kind like you would to somebody going through a traumatic experience. Treat yourself well, love yourself. Worst mistakes, trying to run away from it, using your old coping mechanisms, whatever that may be, turning into a workaholic, overeating, overindulging in anything like alcohol, tobacco, drugs, just whatever your coping things of avoidance. Recognize what you're doing and just surrender to it. I'm not saying surrender to the addictions. I'm saying relax and just have the experience. Do not avoid it by burying yourself, by becoming numb. Okay, and don't be stubborn and not reach out for healthy support, because that's a way we get through these things. And I highly recommend people that you can trust that aren't going to try to take advantage of the situation, things of that matter. Use it like for manipulation. You want a healthy, loving, supportive people around you during this. And if it takes a professional, great. Go out and nourish yourself in that way. Go talk to someone, whatever, support group. Choosing to stay stuck is also not a very good option, because some people will wallow in that self-pity, depression, not try, they just give up, and they can bounce between a couple, like say dismantling process and the emptiness, but that is not a healthy option. I highly recommend, pray, do whatever you need to do, healthy, loving things towards you. But again, don't keep so busy in your social calendar, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that to avoid the pain. One of the things that actually helped me, I would meditate every day, I still do, but meditate, but to get myself out of the wallowing of devastation period, I did do, like I would try to book things several times a week to go and spend time in groups, with like-minded people. I would take classes, and I was trying to find ways to heal myself, but I didn't ignore the pain and stuff like that. But for me, I had to be careful not to wallow in the self-pity and pain. I wanted to have experiences where I was still having fun and things like that. And it actually was very effective for me. I really loved it. And yes, I love this stone. So please, do your best to get through it. And what else? I think that's pretty good. I think that's enough for this video. It was a short chapter. I'll make another video as I go through the book. I hope this helps to inspire you to not run away and to really start doing the work on yourself. The most important relationship that you're going to have is with yourself. So why wouldn't you put that effort and to make sure that you have a better life, that you're a happier, healthier person, mentally, physically, emotionally, right? There are many layers to us. Take care of yourself. And this is a sunstone if you're interested. There's another thing in it though. Just my focus is now on the book. If you'd like a private reading, I do mediumship readings and psychic readings and healings. Go to my website, www.danieladicastro.com, and you can book an appointment. It has my information there, how to contact me. And if you enjoyed the video, pretty please give me a thumbs up. And what else? If you want more spiritual lessons, because I'm going to be doing videos on many matters, many topics. And I'd also appreciate if you have a suggestion for something you'd like me to do a video on. Please send me a text or an email. The information's on my website. Thank you very much for joining me. Oh, please sign up for the YouTube channel. Again, Daniela DiCastro. It's under. So many blessings. Namaste. Bye-bye.